Just back to Sultan of Swing, Shaune, an absolutely fitting win, and I'm sure for everybody involved, great to see him back in form.
Yeah, good morning, Matt. He's been a terrific horse for us. I think he's won 10 races now, and he just keeps coming up season after season, and just a lovely horse to have around the stable.
What do you make of the field assembled there today? Obviously, he meets Andoyas once again. There's been plenty of discussion around the Sultan of Swing versus Andoyas. What do you make of these two horses?
Well, they look good horses, don't they? Look just a little bit above some of the winter horses, but with the tracks getting a little bit heavier, that's going to take a little bit of effect. Fortunately, with Sultan of Swing, he's been allocated 60 kilos and he's got a good shoulder. He seems to be able to carry that, and with the 2 kilo claims down to 58, he seems to be okay with that sort of weight on his back. It's the weight he's got to give the other horses, of course, that keeps extending, and that can become a problem, particularly if the tracks are getting wetter. But I thought he was pretty dominant in his last win. He got there a little bit soon, perhaps even for him, because he's had a habit of getting to the front and wandering around. But they're obviously two very good horses, and it's good to see a couple of horses like this clash and good interest for the public.
So you feel as though, Shaune, if these two horses sort of meet each other at the top of the straight, he's going to take a fair bit to get past? Is that what you're saying?
The horses in magnificent order. When you get an older campaigner like Sultan of Swing, who's racing well, and they're winning, winning is a habit, so's losing, I suppose, and he's just in a great zone right now, Sultan of Swing. We took him onto the track yesterday morning and he had a squeal and a buck and a play, and geez, he's been in work a really long time. Unusual for us to have horses in this long, but he just seems to be enjoying his racing, and he certainly didn't have a hard run last time, so it's going to be very, very hard to beat again. He'll probably get back and get to the outside again, because it is a little bit of a question mark as the tracks get wetter, and we've got a lot of rain here yesterday as to how well he handles these wet tracks, but he certainly seems adept so far with that sand through to rubber.
You've got the horse nominated for a couple of the Hastings Spring features. Is that something that you're targeting at this stage?
Was never really on the radar due to the fact that he's been in such a long time. But as I say, he's in winning form, so we thought we'd better keep him in there. It's going to be very hard to place shortly. He's getting allocated 60 kilos, as we've said, and once he gets up in the ratings a bit further and moves to 61 and further up the ratings, well, obviously the weight's going to stop him and he's going to have to revert to weight for age. We're not suggesting he's as good as Melody Bell and horses like that, but he probably deserves his crack to have a crack at some better prize money as the spring sneaks in if he keeps racing in the vein he is.
Moving on to race number 6 on the card, you've got a debutante here by Tavistock by the name of Hey Soul Sister. It's a $17 shot in the TAB markets. Shaune, can you give me the rundown on her?
She's a really nice filly. She's taken a while to mature. She's out of a keeper mare, so you'd expect her to handle the wet ground okay. And a gallop on Thursday was particularly good. I was quite happy with her. But she is pretty new. As you say, she's a debutante, and I'm expecting her to learn a bit from this. And I think she'll be better when she gets to 2,000 metres plus and perhaps further into the spring. But we just felt we'd get started somewhere, as we know, when these nice maiden 3-year-olds step out in a couple of months' time. They're 6 to 8 lengths better than the current bunch of maidens going around at the moment. So I thought we'd try and avoid those and just be a step ahead of them. You're racing at a mile and a quarter when the winter horses are coming to the end of it. So placement-wise, this is just a matter of running in the right race so we can be in the right place at the right time in the spring over 2,000 metres.
Yeah, well, we just saw the trial at Avondale, albeit beaten a fair way. Shaune on Toast in Massachusetts. Shaune on Toast obviously going on to do a good job, and Massachusetts a subsequent winner. OK, Shaune, before we wrap things up here on the Punters Lounge Live, for you in terms of heading forward to the spring, you've got a horse like the Good Fight. When can we expect to see it back to the races?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Good Fight. He'll probably come to Tirapa here on the 3rd of August for his kick-off run. We won't trial him beforehand, so he'll be vulnerable. But I think he's up to going to Melbourne, this horse, if he hits the right sort of form. If not, he's going to be very competitive down in the weights in the local cup races, the Counties Cup, Waikato Cups, races as such as that. The other two that I'm really looking forward to are 3-year-old fillies, Valamente and Jennifer Eccles. A couple of really nice fillies that have done very well in their winter breaks, and they'll be heading for the 1,000 guineas, and of course Swords Drawn, who's still a maiden and split the Derby and the Oaks winner in the Levin Classic, or the Otaki Classic, back in the spring. So it's got a nice little team heading forward to the spring, and we're looking forward to those races coming through.
You're another man I'll be looking forward to seeing in Christchurch in November. Thanks for your time this morning, Shaune. All the best today.
Sounds great. Thanks very much, Matt. Cheers.